All right. Shout out to all the boys watching.
And all the replay viewers.
All the replay viewers, we are back on the
Okay,
Wednesday show.
so here's the top.
MTK's got a headline for me. He says,
Bro, but you already had the headline. It wasn't
Okay.
that. Hamza and Paulo Costa. I cannot get over this.
yeah, that's
Hey,
hilarious.
Hey, that's out of pocket, bro. You can't be in your the homies, girls' DMs and shit.
Yeah, he knows how close they are, and he's like, fuck
That's out
it.
of pocket. Tell me that's not out of pocket, bro.
It's slightly out of pocket. It's slightly out of pocket.
I mean, come on. You can't be doing it. Because
Sliding in the DMs is crazy.
It is crazy, bro. And it's because it's your peer.
Uh-huh.
Like, if it was like someone outside of the circle of like fighting or something, you know what I mean? Like, you really didn't know them.
Mm-hmm.
You're in the same division.
I feel like it's less crazy just because it's Paulo or something. I'm trying to imagine if Kamzat were to DM Ian Gary's wife. Would it be the same level of crazy or would it be even crazier? I'm almost thinking it would be crazier.
See, I'd give him a pass for that one.
You would, because she's a part of it.
Yeah, because of what he's done his antics before, right?
Yeah.
His antics before, so it's kind of you open the door for that.
Like this, Paulo's girl always just kind of sits back in the background.
Oh yeah, she
never says shit.
Yeah, but just to slide into another man, I think it's his wife.
I think they're married now, yeah.
Yeah, just to slide it, just to do that. That's nah. You can't be doing that, bro.
Out of pocket for Kamzat.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's basically calling Paulo gay for his knockout loss to Izzy. Oof.
Now
dirty work.
Now, if I guess there's the other side of the coin. Like if it's just all for fun and like if it's just a game and it's fun, you know what I mean? Like he's making fun of it. Yeah, but I don't know. There is a line there, bro. You can't be going into your boys like fucking girls' DMs and shit.
Definitely.
Up, bro.
Something makes it like I do understand. I feel you, but like I'm also pointing out the aspect of like I feel like it's somehow less crazy because they're like foreigners or something, or even maybe being that it's Kamzat and we know he's a wild boy. I'm trying to imagine if like another UFC fighter did that to another UFC fighter. I feel like I'd be like, that's some dirty shit, you know?
Super disrespectful, yeah.
But with this one, I do think it's disrespectful, but at the same time, I'm like almost shooting bail because I know that Paulo's funny, like a comedian.
Right.
So I'm just like, I feel like and then, Kamzat, like, but at like the same,
They're leaning into it. They're leaning into their alter egos and what they could do online to kind of create their.
Exactly.
But that's the thing too with Paulo Costa. Like he does a lot of crazy shit.
He blurs the lines.
He does blur the line. There it is. But he went on the mic and was like, "Nah, man, this ain't right. This ain't right." I didn't even know all of that.
He was tripping. He's tripping over Hamzat right now.
I didn't even know all that. Like he didn't even say, "Fuck the win, bro. I'm coming after Hamzat." Like, nah, dog, this ain't right.
And he wants him win or lose against Strikers. He's going to be front row in UFC Chicago.
Yeah, and we've said this before too. Like, I don't know. There's a theme here, right? I don't know what Kevin Holland I'm gonna get. I don't know what Paulo Costa I'm gonna get. A lot of times Paulo Costa goes in there and he's doing all these antics for the crowd. I'm like, bro, you're losing focus, bro. Well, what are we doing right here? That's why I liked what I saw on Saturday.
I loved what I saw from Paulo on Saturday.
Yeah,
loved it.
Yeah, he showed Roman, hey, there's another level to this, and all it was, bro, whoever bet those underdogs got paid this Sunday.
Woo. Oh yeah, they were all cashing. I was wrong on almost all my bets.
I
didn't bet, but all my predictions.
I was right on all my prelims, but I was wrong because they were all underdogs that won. Well, that was an amazing card,
except for like the Max Holloway fight.
Right, that was an amazing card.
Solid card.
Yeah, everybody was going back and forth.
Although they do say like, oh, it kind of became boring. I think people just look at like the stats sometimes because they're like, oh, the main card became all decisions. It's like, yeah, but we're talking about guys fighting to the death. Like Kevin Holland, D-Rod, you can't dwindle that performance because it was a decision.
The fact that it didn't win that was fight of the night in my eyes.
I mean, we're going to have to get into that because I'm disgusted and I have a lot to say. And I'm actually disgusted with several people. Should we just touch on that now, or do we want to
get into it?
We can get into it. Man, so I kind of made a point on my little recap video, but after further review, I've kind of felt more strongly about the takes, And after I reviewed it, I kind of like, there's stuff I didn't say in there that I got to say here, or even like re-say it. So, first of all, Dana White coming in there, announcing Marvin Vettori versus Brendan Allen fight of the night. I think that's crazy work in general. I think it's pretty clueless, so I don't have much to say about that part. But
it was fight of the night for prelims.
For prelims, yeah. And like there, I mean, it goes without saying, but it's like the back and forth in the D-Rod fight and the Poirier fight, it makes no sense. Vettori and Allen you can't even match it. At least with the D-Rod Holland, Poirier Holloway, you can match what happened there. There's some debate, right? Holland left in a stretcher and shit like that. Did Marvin Vettori or Brendan Allen leave in a stretcher? These things factor in when you talk about fight of the night. Fight of the night is literally like, how many life points did you just give up?
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? You hear a lot of guys say, I don't want fight of the night. That means we were in a war, and I don't want to be in a war. So that's why this fight of the night bonus I feel so strongly about, because this is who gave up the most life points, right? And look at Max. He gave up a free shot to the chin with the point down with Poirier. Poirier gave up free shots, right, and obliged for the fans. That's fight of the night worthy. To not give those guys that money, right, when they literally lost life points is disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many fighters do we see not only broke, but broken bodied? So these guys who are giving up life points aren't even going to get $100,000 checks each, because it's $100,000 split between the both of them. But I'm calling for $100,000 for Max and Dustin each for the performance they put on, for the life points that they gave up for the fans. You know what I mean? Because that's what it's all about. They damaged themselves. Now they need to have the money for therapy. You know what I mean? Who's to say they're not going to have Parkinson's and all? I don't even want to use these words, but I have to say it, because these are issues that they could deal with, that we've seen previous fighters deal with. What happens if they start to deal with addiction down the road? God forbid. You know what I mean? But they need to have the money to be able to check themselves into rehab and to have the insurance to pay for certain things. Look at BJ Penn. Look at Shane Carwin. Look at all these guys. I'm disgusted with the fact that Dana White gave Marvin Vettori and Brendan Allen the fight of the night bonus. And I want to know who makes that decision, because it's clearly not Dana. Dana was fucking confused as hell. And this is the other part of it that I'm really disgusted with. The media. The media that goes there week after week after week. Okay? And for all the fans around the world who sit there and criticize, right, and call everybody on their shit, you guys, right, the way you guys call people on their shit is exactly how the media should be calling Dana on his shit. So, with that being said, they go in there, and Dana announces it right off the bat, you know, Brendan Allen gets fight of the night bonus, and they go, oh, what about D-Rod and Holland and Max and Dustin? And Dana's like, oh, yeah.
Don't get paid.
Yeah, he like chuckles or something like that. And then, basically these guys are just like, oh, all right, and then move on to it. Like they don't even say shit, and they chuckle.
Mm-hmm.
You're laughing with Dana. You like, this is what I'm saying. You should act like, this is what I'm trying to say. When I related the fans to calling out people in the comments, right? But these guys are so interested in being friends with Dana, they can't call the truth. They can't see it how they see it. You know? And that's what I'm saying with how they laugh with Dana. You should be disgusted with the guy. It should be like, dude, this is what I'm trying to say. It should be like, Dana, that is fucking retarded, bro. What do you mean laughing? Like, Dana, hang on, did you hear me right? You're saying Brendan Allen got fight of the night over Max and Dustin? Do you plan to compensate them? Like, you shouldn't be laughing back with him.
You got to push back.
Because you have to push back. And Dana, like, for him to chuckle and not even take it seriously, that should offend you as the media person. And you should push back on that. Like, you should be ready to call the bullshit. And instead they just sit there and they're like, huh, okay, so it was a great fight, right, Dana? It was a great fight, right, Dana? It's like, dude, we're just moving on. You guys are like fucking, you ever heard the word NPCs? Like, fucking the, like, little characters in a video game that don't have a role. They just fucking sit there. That's what these guys are. They don't have a fucking brain cell. All they have is, like, questions that they already fucking pre-thought of, and they're just gonna run through. They don't even have the ability to conversate. Because that's where it comes from. But honestly, I swear to goodness gracious, okay, when Dana chuckled at that shit, and the fact that they just chuckled back and then move on, instead of being like, hold on, Dana, like, Why didn't they get it though? Can you explain to me why they didn't get it? Because that honestly doesn't make any sense. That's kind of crazy. Like, they had way bigger wars. Like, it's just kind of crazy. Like, you should be calling him. And I keep repeating it, but I'm just so pissed off about it. And I don't know what other words to put in other than the fact of, like, it's the same thing as how people do it in the comments, bro. Because they don't have any relationship towards you, so they can call you on your shit. And that's how I felt watching it with Dana. Like, I don't have the relationship with Dana. So when I saw that happen, I cringed. But then I see these guys chuckling. It pissed me off. And I'll let you get to your point, but let me just finish it by saying this. Then Max Holloway comes in there. Max Holloway comes in there, and we all heard it, right? I clipped it off. A lot of people clipped it off. I hope you guys gave Dana shit. Well, they didn't, Max. They didn't. So even Max is saying, I hope you guys gave Dana shit. Mm-hmm. And these guys are just like, oh, yeah. But they bring it up to Max, but then they don't have the ability to, like, differentiate right from wrong, or at least expose it in a certain aspect where you draw more attention to it. Now, these guys are the professionals. They're the ones who get awarded the credentials every single week. Not me. I've applied. They don't fucking give that shit to me. So I got over it. But it's like, you guys are the ones who go there week after week after week. You don't, by this point in time, you're not, like, offended how many times Dana's got one over on you? And you don't try to improve every week that you go there when it gets rebroadcasted all over the internet, how Dana just got one over you guys again, how you guys don't press? Like, where is the fucking integrity or the intention when you go to these things? Like, Dana's not going to get one over on me. I'm going to ask this question. I'm ready for him to give me a bullshit response, and I'm going to ask a follow-up.
Yeah.
So that's my thing. And then when Max came in there and told them, I wish you guys gave him shit, and they just sit there crickets. Yeah, bro, they didn't give him shit, Max. The same journalists you fucking award interviews to, Max. They don't give a fuck about you.
Breathe. You good?
Take a sip of water while you.
Hey, he went off on that. Now I'll just say this. You know, it was almost like they watched the Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori fight, and then they just made a decision right then and there, and they did just surpassed all the other 4 fights that happened, because you could have said the Kevin Holland and D-Rod fight. There were multiple times in that fight where we're like, oh shit, Kevin Holland's about to win. Then it reversed it. Oh, D-Rod's about to win. Mm-hmm. It went into the second, and then you went back and forth again. And then in the third, Kevin Holland made a run, and then D-Rod makes another run and mounts him. Like, it just was going back. There was a maybe one moment in the Marvin Vettori, Brendan Allen fight that maybe we had an inkling of that. Mm-hmm. Maybe. They went back and forth.
Marvin kind of fell up against the cage at one point in time.
They went back and forth. Don't get me wrong. It was a great fight.
It was a good fight, and I'm not trying to disrespect it either. Yeah.
No, not at all. It was a great fight. However, if you were to put criteria in what you had said earlier into what is a fight of the night? What is the criteria? I think a criteria would be like, hey, the one guy we thought was going to knock him out. You look like he was going to win. Mm-hmm. And then he got his wits back, and then the other guy looked like he was about to win. And then you had this, I think it was like 6 times you could count it, where like, back, that's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. The Max Holloway fight, that happened 3 times. In the beginning, Max had Dustin. I was like, oh shit, this could be it. Mm-hmm. Dustin was able to fight back through it. He went back, and then he rocked Max. Mm-hmm. Right?
Saved by the bell.
Right. And then you had championship rounds. Mm-hmm. You had something on the line. The point down. Yeah, the point down. The magnitude was also higher. Mm-hmm. So I think there's more you could add into the criteria. What did we have? What was the actual stakes on the line for the Marvin Vettori Brendan Allen fight?
Like the street fucking beef that they got. That's it.
And rankings. And that they went back and forth. They went back and forth. But there was never a moment there that I was like, oh shit, Marvin Vettori got Brendan Allen. That's it. Mm-hmm. Not one moment.
It was more so like, who's winning this fight? The whole time you're watching it, it's hard to tell who's winning.
And they were going back and forth. They were going tit for tat, which I love, right? That I'd have to say love. But if we were to look at all the fights and we were to rank them, I would say in my eyes, like, it's hard to not give the Kevin Holland D-Rod the fight. Mm-hmm. In I think the BMF and the Max Holloway, the Legends fight, they added 2 more rounds to that. So I had a hard time if I were to really put money on it. Like, my heart tells me the Dustin Poirier Max Holloway fight, but the D-Rod Kevin Holland fight, epic.
I believe they both should have got, bonuses, and I think that's what it should come down to. Like,
why can't you give two? What, you know what I mean? Like, why not? Because if it's just the money, if we're only saying, hey, the only reason why we can only have one fight of the night, I'm pretty sure in the past they've had multiple performances of the night, and they've had multiple fights of the night. Mm-hmm. And they gave bonuses to all those. They usually do 4 every night.
It's very rare, but they will at times for crazy fights do it. And this was one where they usually should have, and they probably would have in the past. It's really odd that they didn't.
And it would have been well deserved. Everybody
and it went to the wrong guy. It's just like a really weird one.
That's the thing, right?
You went to the wrong guys, and you didn't give out multiple.
The better argument would have came in today, like, oh, they gave it to the Kevin Holland, but it should have really gone to Max Holloway. But you could stand on the Kevin Holland D-Rod fight. You know what I mean?
And this is why they should have pressed him, because they honestly, the media could have gotten them more money. But this is why and this is where I'm gonna have to point it out again and maybe say it in a different way. But it's like when Dana said that, and I think Ariel was good at this. There's a lot of clips that resurface of Ariel pushing Dana White. You know what I mean? There's like a viral one of when Nick Diaz didn't show up to a press conference. Fast forward a couple days to another press conference. Nick Diaz is there. Ariel asks the question, and Dana gets mad at him. Dana's like, oh, Ariel couldn't wait to ask that question. He couldn't wait. He usually sits back and waits for a few questions to get asked. But Ariel raised his hand first. He had to get the first question off because he couldn't wait to piss off Nate, right? But when does that happen? When does Dana do that to media members now? That he doesn't, because they're all scared of pissing him off. And that's what I'm trying to say. When that happened, it should have been a really simple question, just a matter-of-fact question of like, Dana, how do you not give Kevin Holland and D-Rod or Max Holloway and Dustin Poirier fight of the night? Their fights 100% guaranteed were better and more damaging performances. Kevin Holland left in a stretcher. They should have just put it out there matter of fact. And you know what? Dana probably would have heard them and be like, okay, fine, I'll give them bonuses too, because Dana's also done that. Certain times when the media presses back, Dana will be like, okay, fine, I'll give them bonuses too. But these guys didn't press. And that's also why Dana didn't offer multiple bonuses, because they didn't make it seem like he was crazy. Dana could have replayed that tape, and at the end of the day, no matter how rude the journalist was for calling him out, Dana could look back on the tape and be like, you know what, these guys deserved it. But they didn't call attention to it. Dana probably didn't even make the decision himself. And that's why it's turning into this. But I just want to put that out there. And then also, Dana likes to do this little spin when he talks about bonuses, because I think it happened on UFC 317, where he was talking about a lot of the fights, and then he goes, but they're all going to do really well. Right?
Right.
That doesn't mean, because I had Jacoby Smith on, and I was like, yo, did you get an extra bonus for your knockout or your submission? And he's like, no, I didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, because Dana said that like all the other guys are going to do really well who got finishes on the card. He's like, no, I didn't get a bonus. And I was like, okay, for sure. So now I know when Dana says it, it's almost like a nervous tick. It's almost like that's his way of spinning positivity on the situation, because if he just cuts it off at like, no, they don't get bonuses, then it's like, damn, Kevin Holland left in a stretcher and he's not going to get a bonus. So instead, he finishes it with a bow tie, and he's like, but those guys are going to do really well. Here's the translation. Dana's just counting their pockets. Dana's just saying he believes in his mind that they made enough contractually to where they're still fine even without the bonus. That's his pure opinion. Yeah. So just so everybody knows, when he says, but those guys are going to do really well, he's not talking about giving them extra money. He's just trying to put a positive spin, a PR spin.
It's a blanket statement too.
And so last thing, I don't mean to cut you off, but the last thing, the media at this point should be so well versed in this that the media should be like, oh, so see how I'm instantly like catching on to what Dana says? So the media should be also on the same page as me. And when Dana says that, they should be like, oh, okay, so does that mean they're going to get bonuses too? That's what people don't want to ask him. They're so scared to do that. And I get it, bro. But you're a fucking pussy then.
Look, I'll say this, and clip this, tag everybody. Everybody's walking on eggshells. Everybody does not want to lose their position at that press conference. So mum's the word, right? Like, and evidently, look at what we're seeing. You don't see a lot of people fighting back. Now, if we were to go, and I've said this multiple times to you, if you were to go to an NBA or an NFL press conference after a team loses, and you see the coaches lose their shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because that reporter doesn't have an obligation to be friends with the coach.
Exactly.
Here, like I said, they're walking on eggshells, and they don't want to upset Dana, and so they don't get invited back for that presser for UFC 319, UFC 320. So evidently, Ariel pressed the wrong buttons, and who's not allowed anymore?
Yeah, he doesn't come anymore. Same thing happened to Luke Thomas. Word on the street.
So the NFL is set up where if I work for where did they have that fight at? In New Orleans, right? If I work for the New Orleans Tribune, I have an automatic seat there. You don't tell me if I can sit here or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's ran by the NFL unions organization. It's already mandated, right?
Mm-hmm.
So every newspaper has an outlet that's going to send somebody, or online station, whatever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have 50 guys there after a win or after a loss.
Mm-hmm.
It's already there. So you could be a dick, whatever, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's why you get some of those viral moments from the coaches. And there's that practice.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about practice, right?
Mm-hmm.
You saw that video, right?
With AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Allen Iverson. But those are those moments, you know what I mean? Like, they go viral. But there is none of that in the UFC. There's just too much, like, oh, well, let's not upset them. You know what I mean? Let's just, we want to get invited back.
And it's also them taking forms. I'm not going to call money payment, but I'm going to say they basically do take forms of payment from Dana White in terms of Nina drama, right? Media, right? She ain't no media, because this is what real media does. The shit we're talking about, pressing issues, you're just like PR. You just ask them questions about like who wins a fight, a bear or a lion. Yeah. Like, you're just PR. You are not a journalist, so we can never get that twisted. But see, the thing is like, so I'll actually take her out of it. But let me go Brett Okamoto, right, for ESPN, because you used an example of like the New Orleans Tribune. How about a guy like Brett Okamoto, ESPN? He's always invited back to Dana White's thing, and ESPN even like basically is in partnership with the UFC. So no matter, right, in theory, Brett Okamoto could ask the most bullshit ass questions to Dana, and Dana can't do shit about it, right? Because ESPN got that
They'll always
credential.
be invited back. They'll always be invited back.
He'll be invited back. But here's the catch. You ready? The UFC will award Brett Okamoto with free fight information. People don't know this, but this is the truth. Dana used to do it with Ariel. Right. He'll provide Brett Okamoto with free fight information, but he doesn't do it anymore. That's why Dana announces it now. But this is what was happening in the past. He would award Brett Okamoto with free fight information. Brett Okamoto can go to his Instagram, Twitter, post it. Everybody used to say Brett Okamoto broke the news. Right? And so that's where like that's like a form of bribery, bro. Because Dana texts him and tells him, right, what fights are happening, he's now compromised. Now he can't ask the tough questions because Dana will go ahead and take that same clout. It's just basically gifting the guy clout. You know what I mean? Look how much Crazy Kev kills himself over trying to announce fights. What Dana does, that's a golden ticket to have that connect with Dana, and he can text you and be like, this fight's on. You can announce it.
It's interesting because, like, if you were to look like Adam Schefter today is like going crazy on the NFL news right now. All the trades and all the signings and bonuses who haven't showed the training camp, because he has his phone active to every general manager, every coach, every assistant coach,
every
any little
agent.
thing. Every agent. Oh, so-and-so's that, man. They're going to hold out. Man, he's on it, right? That's why he's the plug for the NFL. But it's different because you got like 32 teams. Here you only have one team.
One GM, right?
One GM.
Yeah.
So it's such a different dynamic of a conversation. The whole dynamic's it's super intriguing to me on that aspect of it, because I have no alliance for it. I look at like the NFL as the top tier of like how people break news. But you're right with the ESPN stuff. ESPN will always have, it's a seat at the table. ESPN will always have a seat at the table.
But then Dana is smart and he bribes those guys. He's like, okay, then let's get this guy in on our inner circle.
Right.
Because if not, he's gonna start to ask us tough questions, and we don't want that.
Yeah. And it's so weird because Dana has this like persona, like,
so open and honest.
Everything goes. Anything goes. That's why it's the UFC. My guys could do anything. I don't care. They could do anything. Yeah, so it is, but he is being tailored to the way he wants it.
And then, so what do you get, right? What do you get? So that's that situation.
You get this watered down. You get this watered down fucking questions.
Right, and so you go in, and then Dana gets asked. Let's go over it, right? can we ever get you on a podcast with Joe Rogan and Conor McGregor? What's in your power slap cup? What are you drinking, Dana? The guy's drinking fucking Coke Zero. I had a joke about it on my thing. I'll tell you it. But it's like, bro, that's what he does as a ketogenic guy. Because Coke Zero is 0 calorie. It's like, bro, just drink a regular fucking soda. Like, Coke Zero is arguably worse for you. But go ahead and do your thing.
Right.
It's just crazy, though. His gut's probably screaming.
It is crazy. Yeah.
And then what's the other one? They also asked him at the press conference, so Dana, Power Slap was the first road show this weekend. You coupled it up with the UFC event. Bro, get the fuck out of here. Do not come here and ask Dana about Power Slap events at a UFC press conference. First fucking rule, bro. That's the rule of Fight Club. I don't give a fuck. And the reason why is it's because they want to be friends with Dana. They want to be friends with Dana. And let me say it. I already said it, but I got to say it again. He will not remember your name. You could ask him about Power Slap for the next 3 fucking years. And you will fucking go up to him thinking he's known your name. And he's going to be like, what's your name, kid? He doesn't give a fuck about you, so stop trying to be his friend.
Yeah.
It's insane, bro. These guys ask the most retarded questions. On top of that shit where it's like, so what about Louisiana? Like, how did you like your stay in Louisiana? Yeah. What can you say about your Louisiana fighters, bro? Oh my god.
Yeah, how was the boardwalk or whatever it's called?
You can't get the press conference can't end without some stupid ass German reporter asking if Dulatov, you know what I mean, if they can come to Germany for Dulatov. Right. Dulatov's got 1 fight, you moron. The fuck are you asking him to come to Germany for? Prove yourself. Prove your worth.
Perry Pudge would be kicked out of the UFC press conference the first time he goes.
I'd be getting in arguments with the fucking media guys. But it's like, and then the pointed questions and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm going to say this. I haven't really said this yet, but I will share an opinion about this. I can get your take. But you ever notice, man? And I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because in case any of these kids here are at these press conferences, you got to figure it out for yourself, man. I'm not going to give you the free game, bro. If that's what you think is the best, then go for it, man. Go for it. I can't give you guys the free game. I'm sorry. But just know that, like, you guys be asking dumbass questions.
You're kind of the Howard Stern of MMA media.
I don't even know what that means. Tell me.
Howard Stern would go to every city and do a funeral for every, like, other morning talk show, and he would have a funeral for them, and so he would just create no one liked him. No one in his space, in his like as a broadcaster for a morning radio, they hated him because he just went after everybody. He had made no friends, bro, but he just kept gaining ratings and ratings and ratings and ratings.
Yeah, I feel like that is kind of me. I made a decision that I'm not going to hold my tongue for people that would probably, you know what I mean, never give me an opportunity or don't give a fuck about my situation. So what's the point of holding my tongue at this point? We might never meet, and I'm going to hold my tongue and forfeit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I can't hold my tongue anymore, bro. I got to speak the truth. But yeah, I'll leave it because I really don't want to give him free game. But yeah, it's just like all that press conference stuff is just whack to me, man. I used to love the press conferences. I used to always tune in. Used to always clip them up. Every Wednesday, I would look forward to it. Wednesday was like my day where I was like, I don't give a fuck what headline comes out. I'm tuning into every fighter's press conference, and I'm going to clip that shit up. I don't care what somebody said on Ariel's show. That's how much I used to watch all the press conferences. Yeah. And that was about only a year ago. But I'm done watching them now because it's all these like kids in there and weird shit is happening, bro.
Well, I would say this. You know what I noticed too? Like, unless it's like a huge name, the press conferences, it doesn't get a lot of views.
They've died.
They died. But because it's more of the diehards, the casuals, and you've kind of sold me on this, the casuals will watch just the main event. If you were go to the water cooler talk on a Monday at your day job, they're talking about the Max. Oh man, I just got to my friend's house. I watched the Max Holloway Dustin Poirier. It was a really good fight. They didn't know about D-Rod. They don't know who Brendan Allen is. They don't know who Marvin Vettori is. They don't know who Dulton Islam is. Bro, that's for us. You know what I mean? Like we could go back and just keep discussing. They wouldn't even know D-Rod. No,
that's his name. That's what
Kevin Holland, bro. They no idea that he's now out of the rankings. You know what I mean? Like this is like the diehards. You know?
Yeah. So. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's actually sad. I think today is the funeral of the press conferences. I think that's what we could have even titled something along the lines of this episode. The funeral of the UFC press conferences. And now I'm almost like, bro, Dana,
I'm gonna watch the Hamzat press conference though, to be honest with you.
I will. I'll tune
And
in,
PDP.
but it's just like, gosh, it gets to a certain point where like they always fall off the rails. You know what I mean? Like, sure, the first few questions are good, but once it gets to the like real non-credential journalists, it's like turn it off. You can almost guarantee there's not another good question that'll be asked.
Yeah.
Or any of the foreigners who come there for a certain fighter, I don't want to hear your question. It's always pointed. It's always biased. You know nothing about the sport necessarily. You just know something about this guy. You don't know about the parity within the division. You know what I mean? So
you're there for that one specific fighter.
You're there for one specific fighter. So this is the last thing I'll say about the press conference, because I also said it on the other video, but might as well say it here too. This is the questions they should have asked. Why didn't Lil Wayne perform?
That's a good one. That's a good question.
Right?
I like that. I like that.
How about what about Max Holloway? Was there ever any effort to get a performer for Max Holloway?
Yeah.
It's a simple yes or no question. But I want to know. Or did you guys just do this for fucking Dustin? It's fine, but it's worth knowing that you guys did that for Dustin and didn't even make a call for the champion who's selling the card, right? So on top of that one, like I said, with the fight of the night, that was another issue that they should have pressed. So these are serious things that they're not pressing at all. I had another one too, but I just forgot it. But yeah.
The Lil Wayne one's a good one though. I like that one.
For sure. But and then someone else is like, oh, well, it's because you're not allowed to perform there. So it's like, yeah, we know, bro, but we need Dana to admit it. I don't know. I think the UFC doesn't like that shit. But let Dana say it. Let it come out of Dana's mouth.
Who's getting penalty? Like, is there a fine? Is there a penalty? Does that mean we can never go back to the New Orleans Stadium again? Does that mean we can never do a UFC event again? That's ridiculous.
Watch it be some bullshit with like the fire department, some bullshit ass excuse that they're gonna give.
Oh, they have concerts all the time. What the fuck they talking about?
They do it for boxing every event. You could do it.
Yeah.
You'd probably just have to pay extra money, and the UFC might not want to shell that out.
Yeah, it's stupid.
You got the topics in front of you? You want to go on to another topic?
I mean, if you just want to do just real quick, I mean, UFC 318 recap. I mean, I thought it was an amazing card. I honestly liked it from bottom to top to bottom. All the fights were really good. We had some knockouts. We had submissions. The main card. The main card lived up to, like, I mean, it was just back and forth. Patricio Pitbull, he did beat Dan Ige. Did he impress me? Not really. Kevin Holland, I think, I think we both been on him. We don't know what Kevin Holland was going to be, but, D-Rod, he persevered. He fought back. He weathered the storm. And I thought that's why I felt like Kevin Holland, there was a moment there too where I thought he was done, and then he fought back. So I can't really talk shit about him. I thought they both did an amazing job. They both they battled through adversity. And my hat's off to D-Rod. Bigger picture, can I really see them, either one of them, making a run after this? I don't think so. Not really. You look at that top 10, bro. That's crazy stacked. Top 10 is crazy stacked. Here is a question for you though. Who does the Islam guy fight next?
Okay, so let me pull him up first. And again, this is another one, and you're falling victim to it. I won't make an assumption yet. You could tell me if I'm right, but careful. Don't fall victim to it. This is the same shit we were talking about a week or two ago. I know. But 1-0 in the UFC, this guy is.
But what I'm saying is this. Okay, I agree with you.
People are on him because he's good looking. Are you guys fucking? What the hell are you guys watching? Not you. This is not towards you. But a lot of the fans be posting about this model shit, bro. Get the fuck over it. You guys are on some serious zesty shit, bro. Like, we do not give a shit if he's got a model shoot tomorrow. This is a dog sport, bro. And the more you brag about your modeling, we don't give a fuck about it. Let me ask
you this. Should he fight Gabriel Bonfim?
Absolutely not. He's got one fight in the UFC.
Okay.
We're gonna put him at a ranked right away? What part? Fuck no.
No, I'm not saying that. But I felt like Gabriel Bonfim got exposed a little bit.
Oh no, we're feeding Bonfim. In my perfect world, we're feeding Bonfim to Rude Boy. It's already written in the stars. Guru.
I love that.
I forget the word, but Guru summoned. Randy Brown.
I love that.
Randy Brown needs to handle that.
I love that. I love that actually. Because
Randy
that's
Brown's
a good
dying
fight.
for ranking.
Okay. Jacoby Smith versus Islam.
We could do that. We could set that up.
You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Okay,
I might have to call Jacoby Smith after this and be like, hey, Jacoby, I need you to handle something.
Yeah,
we got this model. We got this because Jacoby said he wanted to fight white boy Sam Patterson. So I'd be like, we got this model white boy for you now.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
See, like, I'm more thinking like the top 20 guys, like maybe even like, because you got the Mike Malots there, Gabriel, but I think Randy Brown deserves like a Gabriel Monfils for sure.
Yeah, let's
like
run
not
that
let
one.
me in.
Definitely.
Let me in the dance. You barely slid into the dance. You barely slid into the dance.
Definitely. I might even just have Randy Brown back on the podcast just to have him call out fucking Bonfim.
And then, but what if like Randy Brown gets like D-Rod?
I'm here for it. Dude, D-Rod is so big though. I don't understand how that guy makes 85.
How he cuts weight?
He's so fucking big. And Kevin's big. Kevin's a big 170er, and fucking D-Rod made Kevin look like he was twice his size. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, I thought too that if we were to look at D-Rod a few years ago, I felt like in the third round, he kind of let himself down a lot of times.
In this one, he evolved from that.
From that
flaw.
He turned another gear. He persevered and he showed adversity and he earned that win.
It's almost like D-Rod was tired of packing his bags when it got tough, and he's been pissed at himself a couple of times, and he's like, "This ain't happening this time. It gets tough. I'm going out on my shield." And
here's the thing: like he's 38, about to be 39. So like to me, I hope he just gets paid to the fullest. I want him to see him end on a high note, maybe help his community out, because there's a lot of good things he could do with what he's doing right now.
All the more reason for $50K for both of those guys. Kevin left on a stretcher.
Yeah.
That's not a light fucking thing. That pisses me off to the highest degree.
Yeah. And here's the thing about they asked D-Rod too about Gilbert Burns, and he was all like, "Is it Gilbert Burns, right?" Yeah.
Who they asked about Gilbert?
They're I guess they're homies. Like not really. Him and D-Rod.
Oh.
He said that's the homie.
Oh, okay.
He said that, and I was like, but he was, but if the UFC does it, I'll do it. Because they asked him who would you want next, and I threw out Gilbert, and I was like, I bet you what they'll do, bro, is they'll throw one of these like Rude Boy's a perfect one, someone like that's in that 15, Mike Malott. Who was the guy that we saw last week too that got the submission? Jake Matthews that beat Chitty.
Yeah.
Even Jake Matthews versus the Islam Good could be a good fight.
Sure, but I think Islam versus fucking Jacoby.
Jacoby, you like that? Because Jacoby to me now, Jacoby to me now, he's like on that 1920th.
Mm-hmm. Like, although Jacoby's looking at like a higher echelon too, because he just beat Nico Price, who's got several fights against ranked fighters.
I get that.
So it's a weird one. Let's see what happens. But I'm all for the slow build for Jacoby. One more, then put him in a ranking.
I think whoever fights Stephen. Here's the thing too. Stephen Thompson most likely you would want to get back into the rankings, and I think that's deserved. Like I think he showed me he still got something in there. He probably has one or two fights, so I'm interested to see how that plays out too, because I think if he fights any of these guys in the top 20, we will really see where they're at, because he showed us where Gabriel Bonfim really is. Mm-hmm. And, I was high on him.
Now, I'll give you a quick speed run. I did think Marvin Vettori. I actually scored it for Vettori in that Allen fight. Did you have it for Vettori or did you have it for Allen?
I would have gave it 2-1 Allen.
Okay.
I thought it was a good fight back and forth. I thought, more damage was Vettori.
Did you give Allen the first or second round? Because I gave Allen the third round.
I gave Allen that second and third. I thought the first could have been... Because there were some moments there in Vettori, he had Brendan Allen, especially on the ground. I like what you said. Mm-hmm. Vettori, watch out for him. Mm-hmm. And you were right. It became a stand-up fight.
He tried it.
Yeah, you did try. And you're right. So I would say second and third, because the first one, Vettori at the end kind of did get him.
Okay.
But I think he was at home. You know what I mean? He's from New Orleans.
A little hometown cook in there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Saying that he wasn't going to lose in front of his brother is crazy work. I'm not even going to lie to you.
Right.
Timing, bro. Timing. Just take it easy a little bit. I know your brother has his own issues, but timing, bro. Kyler Phillips, Vinicius Oliveira, kind of saw that one coming. You got a guy who fights, and you got a guy who plays the point system.
Vinicius, I was going to say this about him. his coach needs to get him back in boxing and get him a little like we need to get our punches need to be more precise. They need to be more accurate. He's like he's brawling almost and he's missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't see him fighting like one of those top 5 guys and not getting kind of dinked up.
Mm-hmm.
He was dog walking him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But he got to clean it up. It's too, and I love the cockiness of him. And I think we both picked Vinicius. I liked it, but we got a lot more work to do.
Definitely, he could clean it up for sure. But that's he's got to start cleaning that up now though, because Kyler was a guy who was like basically in the rankings at not too long ago. So I'm sure now Vinicius finds himself right there.
He's like I think he took his spot, number 12 or number 13.
Okay, so he's got to clean that up. But hey, some of these guys, it'll just keep surprising you. Like some of these guys just make it work, man.
Well, here's the thing. Like Monty, I think it was Monty, the other guy that's in there. He's ranked number 14.
Montel Jackson, or
yes, bro.
He flatlined a guy I'm high on.
And I think he's like 6 or 7 fights in. Now, him, I'm going to take over Vinicius.
Okay.
He's impressive.
He's got more clean hands.
Oh.
Now, how about Michael Johnson, Daniel Zellhuber?
I got to eat crow on that. And here's the thing about Zellhuber.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you got to add more to the arsenal. Like, where's a 1-2 combo? Where's a leg kick? Where's a body kick? I see you got the high kick. I love that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you know what he did in that 3rd round when he was doing the he did the that side kick to the knee.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, where is that at? Why aren't we doing that the 1st and 2nd round? Let's do a 1-2 combo, and he was hitting him with the jab too. I was like, well, you need to put a lot more together.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jansen just like he outboxed him.
Yeah, almost outclassed him.
Yeah.
It was a clear difference in that fight from almost the first minute. Michael Johnson was ahead the majority of that fight.
And he seemed faster too, right? He was like getting him like before he was getting him, and then Zellhuber would just go back to the high leg kick.
Mm-hmm.
He was blocking it, which I love that, but that you gotta add more.
And I'm gonna say this, and people, you can say what you want, but I don't give a fuck. I'm back on my Howard Stern shit again, so I'm sorry to whoever I offend. You know what I mean? Whoever I'm about to offend. But shout out to Eric Nixick, one of the worst coaches in the game. Eric Nixick. You got a guy like Daniel Zellhuber, prospect, right? Who was in his corner? Eric Nixick, bro. I mean, bro, you can glaze Eric Nixick all you want, people out there. You can get mad at me all you want, but go look at his wins.
The results.
Go look at the results.
Yeah.
Again, Sean Strickland was fucking thrown into his lap, bro. He didn't train Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland was trained basically by Lorenz Larkin. Shout out Lorenz Larkin. In California. Francis Ngannou was made in France, bro. Francis Ngannou moved to Las Vegas. Extreme Couture is a central gym in Las Vegas. That's the only reason why, gets quality fighters. But if you're talking about building a guy or even trying to get advice, you think Eric Nixick knows how to outbox Michael Johnson? Just ask yourself that question. And, okay, right? Ask yourself that question. You got the answer in your head. For me, no fucking chance. Michael Johnson boxes circles around Eric Nixick. Now, let's reverse this. Do you think Trevor Whitman, Justin Gaethje's coach, Kamaru Usman's coach, do you think that when it comes to Michael Johnson, I forget the term I just used, but my point is Justin Gaethje's boxing coach, Trevor Whitman, has more boxing IQ than Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson could go to Trevor Whitman and learn something. Michael Johnson could not go to Eric Nixick and learn something. There's a reason why these fighters travel to certain coaches to learn something, and there's a reason why some coaches are never sought after ever, but get all the fucking credit. Because I guess they're just clout chasers. But yeah, Zellhuber has no excuse to lose to Michael Johnson, almost 40 years old. He's got all the potential in the world, but he's wasting his time at Extreme Couture. Your coach, the man in your corner, cannot help you get that win. This is what I was trying to say. Trevor Whitman could have taught Zellhuber mid-fight, here's adjustments you make to counter what Michael Johnson is doing to you.
Right.
Eric Nixick cannot do that. And you can hate me all you want, Eric Nixick. You can fucking whatever. I'm probably never going to meet you, so it don't matter. That's why I'm not holding my tongue. But on top of that, you got your own platform where you be brainwashing everybody, and I'm not going to stand for it. So me and you, we can be at battle right now.
Yeah, no, there's some truth there. There's definitely some truth there. The results. I mean, look at the results. That's black and white.
It's black and white. Results speak for themselves. Is there another Extreme Couture fighter from?
And shout out to Michael Johnson though for getting the win. I mean, 38 years old. That was another. He was like, it was minus 600, I believe, plus 600. So he made someone some money.
If I'm not mistaken, Roman Kopylov is also from Extreme Couture.
Oh, really?
If I'm not mistaken, if someone in the comments wants to let me know that. But again, another fighter who lost, who is supposed to win, right? A guy who's on paper a better striker, a more accomplished striker. He's a kickboxer.
You would say that he was like a bare knuckle fighter, right?
And a kickboxer.
Yeah.
And there was not a single takedown in this Paulo Costa fight, but you lost. Because guess what? Your head coach couldn't teach you the adjustments, and your head coach couldn't even help you game plan for it. Listen, one of the biggest reasons why Kamaru Usman beat Joaquin Buckley is because of Trevor Whitman, in my opinion. I haven't said that anywhere, but I've been thinking about it deep down for a long, long time. And I believe that's a huge reason why Kamaru Usman was able to beat Joaquin, because of Trevor Whitman. Trevor Whitman had Kamaru dialed before that fight. I was watching some of Kamaru Usman's weekly training footages. He was dropping episode 1, 2, all the way up until the fight.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, and I was like, damn, dude. Like, even before the fight, and I was still going for Buckley, obviously. But before the fight, I was like, damn, like, Whitman's got Kamaru dialed. Like, dialed. So.
Hey, and one thing I wanted to do from last time, give a shout out to a couple people that were in the chat.
Who's in the chat?
That,
Animated, why'd you retract your message, homie?
I think we have Just Jude's in there. We had Andrew, and then there was another homie too. And let us know, chat. Let us know what city you're in. We want to give you a shout out. Rep your city.
Where are you joining us from, boys?
Yeah,
also,
rep your city.
Okay, so since Animated Stories wants to get into this, we might as well switch topics now and get into it. Animated. We might as well get into it because I'm ready for this one. I've been waiting for somebody to bring this one up. Max Holloway, Ilia Topuria. Now we got JDM. Who's the real BMF champ? Now last week.
Hold
up. I got my mind changed.
All right. What?
Yeah. Last week you asked me. You said who's the BMF champ? Is Ilia the uncrowned? I'm gonna say no. For one simple reason.
What's that?
The fight was contested at 145 pounds, and that is not a BMF weight. BMF historically has been contested 170, 155. If Ilia wants to be the BMF champ, he got to do it again at 155 pounds for all the marbles and put his belt up on the line too. We're ready for him. And by we, I'm saying me and Max, we're ready for him.
This is semantics, bro. We got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, he got knocked out, but also it wasn't on the line. When Jorge Masvidal and Kamaru Usman fought, now this is where it also gets complicated, because if you're going to go on your train of thinking, now you're setting yourself up here, because when Kamaru Usman and George Masvidal fought, BMF title wasn't on the line. But at the time, Masvidal was the BMF champion. And keep in mind, that was the weight class it was won in, 170 pounds. Him and Nate Diaz contested for it at 170. So when Usman knocked out Masvidal, in theory, he became the lineal, or the uncrowned, BMF champion. And so therefore, all the welterweight champions after that point are, in theory, also the true BMF champion. And in that case, if it was contested at the same weight, then the lineal BMF champion, aka at this point JDM, in my opinion, has more stake to the claim than Ilia, who contested Max at 145, not even a division where the belt has ever been contested. And it is semantics, but we got semantics with JDM too.
I'll say this.
Tell me JDM isn't more deserving then. Tell me I didn't just sell that to you.
Honestly, to an extent, out of all of this shit, it doesn't even matter, because what matters is the belt.
But who's debating about this is the funny thing. I get what you're saying, but what I find funny is that you got two undisputed champs trying to stake claim to Max's belt, and Max isn't even really saying shit. But these guys are up here, up in arms about the BMF champ. I thought you were the undisputed. What the fuck you care about the BMF for? And I think Max can take that and run with that narrative.
No, actually, I like that too. You can use that to your advantage. I got
the undisputed champs fretting about me.
Yeah, use that to your advantage. I like that. That's a selling point for Max to be like, come on, Ilya, let's do it again. Let's do it again. So it does create a lot more intrigue.
So who's the BMF champ? You got JDM, you got Max, you got Ilya. For me, I'm gonna say fuck the semantics. I'm just gonna go off the history where it was contested because then it gets confusing. And I'm gonna say Max is the BMF champ right now. Then, if anything, it's JDM, and then it's Ilya, in my opinion. For you, I feel like you'd probably go JDM.
No, I mean I'd go through who. I mean, because you're right. You were talking like
because Kamaru was the original Ilya. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing: is like they didn't create divisions for the BMF, right? It is like there's not a 170 BMF, there's not a 155 BMF, there's no, so
it's 155 right now, but yeah.
But the needle's just being moved around. You know what I mean?
But it would never be. See, this is the other thing. If Max and Ilya fought at, let's say, 185, okay, big boy weight, right? But the 145 in particular is like, it will, BMF, I promise you, will never be contested at anything below 155. That's where I'm also saying, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm not giving Ilya that anymore. You don't get that. Yeah, if you want it, do it again at 55.
If I were to like really think big picture of all this, if you really want to be the BMF,
bigger weight,
you'd have to be like 205. You know what I mean? Like in at least is that light heavyweight's 205, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a bad MF. You know what I mean? Because like that's
the featherweight in theory, right, is okay with coming up, just like Ilya's doing. I'm not trying to take away from Ilya. Ilya's come up. So let's run it, because this is the real BMF territory. When you come up multiple divisions, Max is now coming up, right? Max has been fighting guys at 55 his whole 45 career. So this is what I'm saying. This is the real BMF. This is the real buildup, in my opinion.
Yeah, in real life, if a person's 205, 6'2", he runs across, the guy that's, 5'7", 150. I mean... Who really is gonna be like, you'd have to pull out a gun?
Yes, but here's the thing that I love: Ilya's down to run it with even Islam, who's going up to 170. Islam's the guy who says he's down to fight DDP. So this is BMF shit right here. You know what I mean? Saying like you're saying, fuck your weight. I don't give a fuck. I'll beat your ass anyway.
Yeah, no, and I did like Ilya's response about that. Like, hey, someone's talking shit about my girl, and we're in the streets. This is not gonna matter.
Right. So. With this all being said,
big picture, Max on paper,
BMF.
He's the
okay. Can I ask you though, after I've explained it to you, do you think that JDM, because this is, I mean, people are throwing him in the mix, right? And JDM put himself in the mix. Where does JDM fit? I've told you I put him above Ilya. Did you change your mind, or are you still?
Oh no, he'd have to be. Yeah, he'd have to be above Ilya for sure, just because he's bigger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there we go, Ilya. Ilya's back to. Ilya's back to the bottom. Ilya, you gotta fight Max for the BMF title. Now, I want to say this. It's actually gonna slip my mind, so let me try to recollect it. I was gonna say this. I rewatched Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria, and I'm singing a new tune because this is another big question: is the fight different at 55?
I don't think it is.
I believe it is.
I don't know. I just don't think it is.
I believe it is. Here's my reasoning. I watched the first fight. In the first round, Ilya took down Max. So basically, Ilya went for a takedown on Max, in my opinion, because he was getting outstruck. Which is fine. You used your MMA, but hear me out. Round 2, round 3 come along, and basically he's continuing to get outstruck, minus the takedowns, really. So he was kind of losing. He dropped. It wasn't like Ilya won all the rounds in that fight. I'm pretty sure it was like, maybe Ilya was up 2, maybe it was 2-1 Max, I don't know. But Ilya was losing rounds. Ilya was getting hit a lot by Max. Look at Ilya's face after that fight. What happened is Ilya was throwing big shots. So Max was pop-shotting Ilya, but Ilya was throwing big and missing big a lot. And I believe that if Ilya takes that same style against Max this next time around, and he doesn't land big on Max, bro, over 5 rounds, you're going to lose. And I will say, even if you do connect with Max, like you did with that big power shot, at 55, it's different. He can recover. He just recovered against Dustin Poirier. He said Dustin Poirier had him dead to rights, and he won another 3 rounds and won all 3 rounds. Probably won 2 of those 3 rounds. But that's what I would say is it's a way different fight. Ilya rocked Max at 45, and Max couldn't recover because he cut back down to 45. He was weight drained. So let's run it at 55. We want that. We're ready for it.
It was 75 to 79 significant strikes.
Max was up when he got knocked out. Max was up on significant strikes.
I mean, I had this same argument when he was in a fight, Charles.
Even Charles is, don't make me do it. Don't make me do it. Do not compare Charles to Max.
Even when they fought, I forgot. Has Charles and Max ever fought?
He has, and Max TKO'd him in the first round.
Really?
Charles faked like he had an injury, and that's what Max has been saying recently. He's saying, I heard Charles says he got injured in our first fight. He didn't get injured last time I checked.
You know, here's the thing. Like, if that fight would have, the Max and Ilya fight would have gone to a decision, it was like really close to like there wasn't a knockout, I'd be more on your fence. The fact that he knocked him out, I mean, that's a lasting impression in my mind.
No, that's fine. And I was also distraught over the knockout, and I was kind of in your ballpark for a little bit there. But after I rewatched it, I totally changed my opinion, honestly. I didn't even come into rewatching it thinking that.
It remind all the homies, are you a Max Holloway fan?
Max Holloway fan.
All right.
But I would have to say...
So you're a little biased. You're a little...
Okay, I'll say I'm a little biased, but I watched it, and I'll say this. I'm putting a positive spin on Max, right? But all my points, I'm not giving bullshit points. I do believe that, like I said, Max got dropped and he couldn't recover at 45. Do I know if Max can recover at 55? Well, yes, I did see it with Dustin Poirier. But at the same time, I want to see it against Ilya. I think that's a new question, right? There's an argument that Max was weight drained. Regardless of my bias take or not, there's an argument he was weight drained.
Okay, so I'll say this. Who do we think they're giving Ilya next? Armin or Paddy?
This is what I've been saying. I did hear Ilya come out on the Nelk and kind of say that like it might be Justin or Paddy. So it sounds like Ilya's down with Justin, probably because it's an easy lick for him, because Justin's at the tail end of his career. But I believe it. I guess it's Justin or Paddy. Arman's he actually just said Arman's not in the picture. So after Justin or Paddy, it's gonna be Max probably for all the marbles.
But if Islam wins, he'll move up and he'll chase Islam.
Maybe.
And then this will all be like semantics again. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like, because then we'd be like, you're chasing greatness almost, you know? If you go and you beat Paddy, I don't think he beats Paddy. I'll say this. I don't think he beats Paddy.
I think that's a big what's the word? Big
prediction?
Obstacle for Ilya. I've been saying it too.
Even when I saw Charles in there, I felt like Charles' game plan was wrong. Like Charles looked like he just was bigger than him. Like when he had him against the fence, like in the stand up, like I'm gonna have to give Ilya a lot more credit, right? Evidently, he's done three KOs in a row. But Paddy, bro, I think he big bears him. Like I think he brawled. Like I don't know, I don't see it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's a tough one. And also, a lot of people are counting chickens, right? Because that JDM and Islam fight, I think a lot of people assume that's a dub for Islam. That ain't no easy dub for Islam. You know what I mean? A lot of people are picking JDM.
I don't think it's an easy. I don't think it's an easy dub. But if Islam goes and just does like, it's hard for me to bet against Islam though. Mm-hmm. Like dude's fucking, he's on the edge of becoming a legend.
But these are big fights, and this is what I'll say.
Yeah, huge fight.
One big question is if Islam loses, what happens? Because I think he retires if he loses. He's not going to come back down to 55 and be a contender. And he's not going to just jump into the rankings at 70. I think he's done.
Nah, I can't see him hanging his head. Nah, he's only 32, right?
Yeah, but look at what happened with Khabib. These guys are totally like that. Totally like that.
Khabib didn't go off on a loss though. I don't think so.
We'll see. But that would be my prediction. Yeah. Also, I will say the thing about Ilya is win or lose, he's in a great position. Because let's say Ilya loses to Paddy, then he just runs it for the BMF title with Max. You see?
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, you're still that.
Yeah. So Ilya's in a great position where he's got multiple fights lined up. Either way, win or lose, he's got fights ready. So I would probably say, Justin or Paddy, and then run for the BMF title and lightweight title against Max.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, like if for whatever reason, like, Ilya decides not to move up and he doesn't chase that other one, even if Ilya does win or JDM wins and he decides, hey, I'm going to stay here at 155, he beats, Paddy, which I don't think he is, then you could build up that Max Holloway. Like, hey, moved up the weight, BMF belt. Let's combine the belts, like something like that. That would be pretty cool, actually. I would like. Then I could see it. But it's too early to say all that.
Yeah, there's a lot of parity that needs to happen. Meaning, there's a lot of fights that need to take place first.
Yeah, yeah.
So I guess one other thing we'll mention. I mean, this is pretty much just going to be like a whole 318 recap show because we can touch on the upcoming event this weekend, but I mean, there's only really Whittaker versus de Ridder. I don't know of any other hot topics too much. But let me just ask you one other thing this weekend, just to your thoughts.
The Renato Moicano.
Yeah, we got to touch on that.
Yeah.
Dana White and John Jones. What was your opinion on that? I've kind of shared my opinion a little bit. I've told you in the past that Dana was only glazing John Jones to get him to fight Tom Aspinall. Now that that's done with, you're going to see Dana's true colors, which is like, I can't trust John Jones and all this stuff.
Well, no, I thought big picture, like it was telling to say, hey, as an organization, he asked about Connor too. Is like, I can't bet on this. This is too unpredictable. I can't form an organization around this guy that every time we try to do something, it backfires. It just happened. It just backfired. So what do we have to do? We have to go back. No, I could care less about the Cyril Gane Tom Aspinall fight. I hate to say it. I could care less. I wanted to see the John Jones. I would have paid big money for that. You know what I mean? And so now that you put that now on the back burner, you let John Jones now try to come back. This has been John Jones' whole career. That's the summary of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the summary of his whole career. Like, hey, he gets into something happens, you can't trust it, you can't put money on it, you can't build a fight around it. They asked about the White House. You can't. Who knows what you could do with him?
Mm-hmm. I guess this is the history of John Jones, just for everybody. I don't got much to say, but John Jones, the main event with DC, the steroid issue, right? Then he delayed the event, obviously, because he got injured with Stipe. Not necessarily his fault, but it's a factor of his age. So now you got to factor that in. When you do book him, there's definitely a higher chance he gets injured, right? Because he's just old now. And he's just coming off a surgery from Stipe fight. Your body, once you get one surgery, a lot more start to come down.
It's hard to it's hard to do those.
That's when you get other tweaks elsewhere, and then you got to get your wrist done now and all these things. Look at Bisping; it's a trickle effect. So
100%.
So he had a surgery.
You already have injuries too.
Exactly. So far, the DC steroid issue. Then he had a surgery recently. Another time when his opponent pulled out of the fight, Chael Sonnen was offered as a replacement, Renato Moicano style, and John Jones shut it down. So you know that if John Jones' opponent falls out, John Jones still won't take the event. Then you take the legal issue that still isn't solved right now. You take the reluctancy to sign a contract for over-negotiating and overplaying his hand with Tom Aspinall. So I just named 5 or 6 things, and these are all things that are going to delay a main event booking. But this is my thing. This has all been there for a very long time, and Dana was just refusing to acknowledge any of it because he wanted that Tom Aspinall fight so bad. And I accept it now. It is what it is. It's all in hindsight. I just want people to know that Dana doesn't love John Jones like that. He's always known who John Jones is, but he was willing to look past all of this for that Tom Aspinall money. And John Jones is the one who fucking fucked up the money.
He's enabled him, right?
He enabled it, but no more. He's not doing it anymore. That's why he's like, you know how I feel about John.
Here's a funny thing, though. Yesterday on the Instagram Live, did you watch the Gram? I'm sure you watched the Gram Live, right?
I didn't watch the Gram Live, no.
All right. Well,
I just caught the reports.
Yeah, you got all of it.
Yeah.
He goes and he's saying the headliner Alex Piera versus Magomed Ankalaev 2. Oh, by the way, John Jones is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
but he's just doing that to troll.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like, he didn't have to say any of that. He
didn't have to say it. I feel you.
He could have just kept him pushing, but he had to glaze on that. He had to just glaze it on. You know what I mean?
He had to.
It was just so funny, bro. It was just like, this dude, man. Like,
there's no telling why he said that, but he did say
it. But it's every single time without it needing to be said. Oh, and he is the GOAT.
It's almost because it's such a viral thing now that he's gonna get 20 comments for.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? It's gonna flood the comments. Then John Jones had his reaction.
Oh, did he react? Oh yeah, he did. He reacted to what Dana said. You meant
reacted to what Dana said. White House? Yeah. I guess I could just pull it up real quick. It was nothing really that big. He just said, Actually, it was kind of retarded, but heard the comments made at the press conference. I'm a little disappointed. I'm still in the UFC's drug testing pool, staying sharp and continuing to train like a professional. I'll be ready for whatever comes next. In a recent interview, I shared that I want to go fight at the White House because it gives me a purpose. The silver lining in all this is knowing the fans see my heart. They see I am ready and willing to take on anyone to represent my country on a historic stage. For me, it's never been just about the opponent. I'm chasing legacy, something timeless, something bigger than the moment.
You know, it'd be crazy to add on to that.
If fans don't see that.
If Tom loses.
Yeah, people are saying Tom's going to lose to Aspinall or Cyril Gane too.
I mean, I wouldn't go that far, but you never know what can happen.
What do you mean you wouldn't go that far? It's like a 50-50 fight. You just said that as if like you think it's a blowout.
I mean, I don't know. I've got a lot more respect for Tom. Like I built that over the couple of years. Like even if you were to fight John Jones, I'm like, I may be like, ooh, I don't know. Tom may get this. However, I get John Jones' point. Like, hey, I've seen this before in my career. I've seen guys come and go. You know, Alex Piera loses, right? You could have built that John Jones Alex Piera fight, but then he lost. You lose momentum. Here, Tom loses. John Jones is gonna look back and see it. I told you.
Yeah, that is what he's gonna say. He can't wait if that happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Bro. And you never know what can happen with the heavyweights. You never know what could happen with the heavyweights. So it's not a foregone conclusion. That's why they're gonna line up. You know what I mean? But I would put money on Tom.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's a close fight. I'd be curious to see the odds on that. I would probably put money on Tom if I had to place a bet, for sure. Yeah. I think Tom is the more well-rounded, and Cyril showed me a big thing in his game with that submission with John. But I'm curious to see like if the fight plays out over 5 rounds, if it's on the feet a lot of the time, because Tom's fights are just so quick. They're all in like a round. So I'm just curious if he can strike with a guy for 5 rounds who's like a talented striker in his own right. Yeah, if he's got the gas tank, you know, all those things. Yeah, all those boxes to check. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we could just do the Dana or the Renato Moicano thing now. Yeah.
I got like 10 minutes. How long you got?
Okay. I got however much time. 10 minutes is good though.
You want to kick it off or you want me to kick it off?
Well, okay, I'll just start it off. So, Renato Moicano, right, turns down $200,000 from the USC antitrust lawsuit settlement. He's claiming that he signed the contract ahead of time, and he agreed to the terms at the time. Therefore, he's not gonna be like, oh, you didn't pay me enough back then, so I want that money now. Now, here's the catch. I guess I'll just spoil it. The UFC agreed, bro, that they didn't pay you enough back then. That's why they settled. So like you're basically being like, no, like I don't agree. I signed this for this much money, and I'm not gonna go back on my word. Meaning like I'm not gonna cry about spilled milk. But the UFC already admitted that spilled milk is true. They underpaid you. That's why there's the settlement. They admitted to it and they accepted it. So, like, you covering their ass, that's like me being like, yeah, I fucked him over and like, I owe him $100. And then you're like, no, it's all good. Like I accepted that the money was gone. It's like, dude, he said he'll give you the $100. Like, he said he's going to give it to you. Like, why are you not accepting it? Like, he wants to make it right.
Right. I'll say this.
200 fucking bands, bro. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, Renato, he lives in a weird delusional immigrant world. For whatever reason, he truly believes that the United States of America has his back. And the UFC, he's such a company man that the UFC got him to this place of like this, oh my, I'm in the United States now. I don't live in Brazil. I'm a true American citizen, bro. Don't get it twisted, dog. Do not get it twisted. I was born here, and I still fucked with. I have more rights here than Elon Musk. Believe you me, cop pulls your ass over. They're not. If you barely even speak English, you may go to jail. ICE may take you to jail, and you're gonna be crying like, Wait, hold up. So stop sipping the Kool-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Stop
Company
sipping.
man.
Oh, stop sipping the Kool-Aid, bro, because the day's gonna come. You're really gonna get a rude awakening. A very rude awakening. And none of this shit's gonna save you. You being a company man and you acting like, you're Mr. UFC right now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
I don't know what he gets out of that, honestly.
Take no, because he's like you said, he's trying to play the company man. He's trying
Yeah.
to, like, you know what I mean? Like, they did this for me, they did this for me, they did this for me. I can't like, um, you know, b- make them look like they're in a bad light for all the things they did for me.
Yeah.
They don't give a
It's not
fuck.
all the things they did for you, bro. That's a part of it. That's like you're just one of a million. It's not all
Well,
the things they did for you. The same thing they've done for you, they've done for several fighters as far as like
right.
paying them and shit like that. But you earned it.
Exactly. And I get that sense of loyalty. It's funny because how we was it who's the Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
It's funny because he's so, like, on the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm.
He's Mr. America,
Mm-hmm.
right?
He's kind of patriotic.
Right. No, he
Yeah.
is. He's super, but he's not sipping that UFC fucking Kool-Aid.
No, because we all know what it is with these businesses. Like they don't
Right.
give a fuck about you, bro.
Right.
They
And
really
so-
don't.
And
It's
so
fine, but you
Renato-
gotta understand that.
Yeah, Renato feels so like what word is that, like he feels blessed
Mm-hmm.
that they even gave him a chance, an opportunity to live out all his
He
wildest
feels like
dreams.
almost he's already indebted to them.
Yes.
So how the
Yes.
fuck could I get money from them when I already owe them, everything I've got?
Right. When big picture, if the minute they get the opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna cut you.
Mm-hmm. Or they're gonna feed you to the wolves
One of the two.
to build someone else up. Now this is the other funny thing. Now Renato can make all the excuses he wants, but when you talk about financial smartness, I don't know the word for it, but financial, intuition, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Take the
It's
money.
it's a terrible
Take
decision.
the money.
Take the money. Number
Take
one.
the money. Never leave money. Never leave money.
And the reason why, on top of that, is because it doesn't go back to the UFC, bro. It does not go back to the UFC. That money that you deny just gets evenly dispersed amongst the people who did accept it. So like Luke Rockhold and like Donald Cerrone, they just got an extra like 12,000.
Now, if you would have came out and said that, cool.
What, that he's giving the other fighters the money?
Yeah, I want to help the other homies out.
But he's not doing it for that. That's
I know
just a
that.
byproduct of it.
I know. Yeah, that is a byproduct.
It's
I
a
know.
byproduct.
He's doing it because he wants to be a company man.
Yeah, and it's even more of a reason to take the money because the company's not saving the money. They already agreed that they got to pay it out contractually.
I bet you in 5 years from now, if we were to have the same conversation, you would ask him, be like, I should have took the money.
Bro, it's crazy. They admitted that they underpaid you, and they did. And even though you signed the contract, it's all good. It was all admitted. This is the last thing I'll say. I read another report from like a lawyer, so I know it's like kind of official. He was saying that Renato was exaggerating about the 200,000 though. It's not in that ballpark really. There's like other fighters who would have gotten something around there for how long they were under contract, but for how long Renato was under contract, he only had like 3 fights in the UFC that they owe him for. So
Gotcha.
it wouldn't be 200,000. It might be like
75 or something.
yeah, something, but it's not 200. So maybe he lied for the headline, but that's another truth bomb out there. It wasn't 200,000 he turned down because they all get separate based off how many fights they got, gypped for.
Yeah, I was gonna say this, a whole nother subject. I was surprised on the comments on your Connor post. Like,
What were they saying?
No, pleasantly surprised. There was, they were more like on her side than against her.
Quite a few were.
Yeah,
on her
no, I
side,
was
yeah.
surprised. Like, it gives me faith because when we, and I thought about that too because we went pretty deep on that conversation. Anybody goes back and watches that was a really deep,
44 minutes.
that was a really deep, like in-depth conversation about humanity.
Mhm.
That's the thing. It's about humanity.
And keeping it real. Like I
yeah.
said, like about the. You keep going. I don't want to.
No, I was just gonna say. So I commend the people. They gave me more faith
Mm-hmm.
in humanity and in some of the MMA community because I kind of expected more people just to kind of like drag us through the mud, like just like more
She
like
signed up for it, which there were some of those comments.
yeah, there were, but there was more the other, and so I'm glad that we were able to put some content out like that.
Mhm.
That speaks volumes of our character.
Yeah. I thought, because a lot of people won't, like, think about it. Like, Ariel and all these guys, they won't say what I'm saying, too, where I was kind of saying, what's it called? I see the disrespect she's getting, right? But then at the same time, like, credit to her for being there for McGregor and being a woman to hold down the house. And I think that's where you got a lot of comments too saying, like, it's true, bro. Like, she's a good woman, but she needs to leave his ass. And then that's what you said. It's both, you know. Yeah. But a lot of times people want
at the same time.
Yeah, and a lot of times people argue just because they think one thing has to be right. One thing has to be right. So one person will be on this side of she's a great woman, and another person will be on this side of they have an open relationship. But we kind of, that's the thing. We're just blending the lines because we don't need to argue just to argue. Let's fucking find out a good solution for this kind of thing.
Right.
Instead of just making content and like laughing about it. That's what I don't like. I don't like to be like just making content and laughing about it. It's got a time and a place, but when there's serious issues, we might as well talk about it.
And I think in 3 and 6 months, dude, the what's his name? Diego Sanchez. Bro, we were talking about the cage episode of his that trainer dude that took advantage of him.
Yeah, now you saw what happened?
And so, like, it's an ongoing story, right, of people not being able to find peace within themselves and chasing X. And you can fill X with whatever you want to put in X. Whatever you think your thing is, put it there. And we're seeing the results with Conor McGregor. I guarantee in 5 years, in 1 year, in 6 months, we're still going to have another story of Conor. There was just another story of Conor. And in 3 to 6 months, we're still going to have another story of John Jones. So it's a door that's always going to need to be faced, you know? And I love what Dustin Poirier, he retired, but he was able to retire with his head up high. And I hope that he has peace, he gives back to his community, and he keeps continuing that side of his legacy.
Yeah, I think he will for sure.
Because that was one chapter. Now what is the next chapter of like the peace and the helping the community gonna look like? I'm more excited for that for Dustin. And I hope that he is too, because I've seen those past interviews, bro, where he's like, you know, I'm a fighter.
Yeah, I was just going to say, those things that you just kind of mentioned give him meaning, right? Aside from the fighting. I think when you're referencing those times where he said that, he was still finding his meaning, still coming to grips with it. I think now I think just based off the things I've seen, based off the stuff you just said, I think he's going to settle into his meaning now. He's kind of settled into the groove. He's had some time, couple years, right, where he's been flirting with this idea. I think it'll be a good transition for him. And the one thing I'll say is he's just been grounded. This whole time he's been grounded, and he's able to take something now into this next adventure in his life. And that's something I think Conor didn't really have, or John, is like being grounded. You know, they were really in a fast life for quite some time.
90% of athletes fit in that category. We could go Antonio Brown.
Max Holloway, though, another good example of a guy who's grounded, though. You know, this weekend showed that.
Yeah, but we can go across the board. NBA, NFL, soccer, UFC, baseball.
It's all the same, yeah.
All the same, bro. That thing we're talking about, they had this spotlight. How do you go when you go from that to trying to be a regular person? There's no class for that. There's no like, hey, this is how we do it.
Well, if you sip the Kool-Aid so much, you know,
that's your sense of identity too, right? So you have to take a step back and reestablish who you are.
You got to disassociate yourself with who your profession is.
And because your profession comes with a shelf life. You can't beat Father Time, but in life you can be there with Father Time. Because there's other chapters, and that's when you find your sense of purpose. That this was just a chapter, and that's what I hope Dustin finds. Dustin realizes this was a chapter. Now I can go help the community. Now I can go be a father to my kids. Now I can go, you know, maybe be an announcer, or, you know, whatever that thing is, you know, that gives him peace internally for him and his family, his kids growing up, because he's a legend. He is a legend. He can hang his hat on that.
Yeah. The last thing I'll say about this McGregor topic is, and I think Dustin will do some commentating, 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
But the thing I'll say about McGregor and his wife is I saw some comments, just to take it back to the beginning of how we started this topic. I did see some comments that again, it's hard for me to just respond to in the comment section, so here I'll give it right now.
Okay.
They were saying they have an open relationship. What don't you understand about that? You know what I mean? Stop worrying about their bullshit. And that's fine. I get what you guys are saying to some degree with stop worrying about their bullshit, but I'm going to keep worrying about it. But thanks. I appreciate the feedback. But what I am going to say, where I'm going to disagree about
Who said that though? Who knows that they have an open relationship?
So let me go ahead and counter that, all right? You be talking they have an open relationship. Last time I checked, when Conor went ahead and his lawsuit for that sexual assault case was concluded and he was found liable, he came out with a statement, word for word, verbatim, said, I should have never stepped out on the woman I love the most in this world. That it was this year he said that. Now, all I can do is take things at face value, right? So either he meant it or he's lying about it. But either way, those are the words that were printed, right? Which don't suggest an open relationship. So me, right, going in on him cheating on his wife or stepping out on his wife, people saying, oh, that's an open relationship. Stop bitching about it. It's not an open relationship unless he's lying. Because he told us that he should have never stepped out on her. So how is it an open relationship? Now, if you want to know my opinion, because I just keep it all a buck, I would say, of course he's lying. Of course it was just a PR statement. Of course they have an open relationship. I'll buy it. Yeah, I'm sure it all was fake, and he just said that to please the masses. But that's the problem with lying. That's why you can't lie, because when you lie, I'm going to hold the words against you. Just like I did earlier in the podcast with Dana White when he was glazing John Jones for all this time. And really, Dana doesn't trust John that much. Sure, he's the GOAT. But the truth is, Dana doesn't trust John that much.
Here's the thing, too, I'll add to that. I've seen countless of documentaries with Conor. I've seen countless lead up to fight. There has never been one time in the past 10 years I ever saw an embedded episode, leading up to this, where they talked about their kids and about this and about that about them ever parting. Parting was never part of this picture of their career. Mm-hmm. She's been there in the beginning.
She's like a Jolie.
Right. She's been there in the beginning. We would have found, okay, for example, Sean O'Malley. Mm-hmm. Sean O'Malley's been saying this from the beginning. Him and his girl would be like, hey.
Facts.
So it'd be different 5 years down the road. We find out Sean O'Malley's cheating on his girl. Like, nah, bro. Like, they've been on that.
Yeah, that's their thing.
That's their thing, right? They can lean on that because that's just how it's been. So no one would judge him. Yes. This isn't the case here. There's never been that story. Oh, she's the mother of my kids. Oh, she's helped me through all the bad times. Blah, 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 blah. There's never, because Conor wasn't living that lifestyle back then. Conor was super laser focused, becoming a champion, being the greatest. Then you have all the money and fame to get it, and now you can go play with those demons. And now that they have kids, who's staying at home? Who gets to go out? Who gets to build a career? Conor can go play. The wife at home stays home with the kids, and more power to her, because hopefully she raised her great children that needs a mother, that probably needs a father there all the time too. Doesn't have all this BS around him. But anyway, I'm getting like too deep in the water.
That was perfect. Because it's the truth. He's been not forthcoming about it, but then here's the catch too. You're not forthcoming about it, but you let it spill out in the public eye time after time after time. Just this year, we're talking about like 4 or 5 incidents. You know, at least 3 when you talk about the civil lawsuit and you talk about this past weekend with 2 other women. I mean, you're letting it spill out in the public eye, but you're not addressing it publicly. I'm not your dad, bro. O'Malley let it spill out in the public eye, addressed it fucking publicly. We can't say shit. But you want to be a coward and cheat on your wife in public eye, right? And then not address it publicly. Bro, I don't know what you want. You can't live under a veil. Like, if you're not going to address it publicly, then we're going to speak about it. You're the one who has the power to shut down my narratives. Speak on it.
Yeah, and the bigger picture is this. You've been accused more than once for these, what do you want to call them? Sexual desires, sexual consumption. I'm very high right now on, that's funny I use the word high. I'm very high on the conversation of what we consume. Mm-hmm. So if we are consuming our sexual desires. We are consuming alcohol and drugs. We are consuming partying. You questioned me last week. I give you credit for that because you're 100% right. When it comes to like, hey, I'm gonna go out to the weekend. I'm gonna go get drunk. Well, what are we really achieving here, right? So now that he has all the money and fame, and he can feed all those consumptions, those are the best ones to consume because they feel the greatest. When I get drunk, when I get notoriety, when I'm able to fuck any girl that I want, those are the highest euphorias. But if you can never tame that dragon, and it's not gonna get better. Those consumptions don't get better.
Yeah.
Alcohol, drugs, sexual, because they feel all the greatest. Now, but you're just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Finding the next high, so to speak, right? The next
100%.
The next
100%.
thing to get your tickle your pickle.
And to have the notoriety, that's a drug within itself. Any bar, any club I go to, I'm the man. It's your ego. Your ego is your biggest consumption too, you know? So he's not going forward, he's going backward when it comes to what we consume and how you feed them, because he's feeding them at the highest level. But we're seeing him and John Jones. We're seeing the repercussions of what happens when you do those things. And now we're seeing you can shove them up a little bit under the ground, but who's paying? The kids, the wife, the people that in his immediate circle are the ones that get paid, that hurt the most. Us on the outside looking in, bro, we can make judgment, we can throw stones and shit, but it doesn't matter. That's the kids that matter. It's the wife that matters. It's the mom and dad that matters. All the things that you brought up the other day. Those are when he's 60, 70 years old and he looks back on this like, man, hopefully we see a new Connor. I'm always thinking I'm getting a new Connor, but then it's the same, maybe worse Connor.
Yeah. He's too much of an attention whore these days. He's too much of an attention whore.
But that's a drug within itself.
Yeah.
That's the ego. You're feeding the ego. And you have such a huge name that you could just keep feeding the ego. So.
Well, he's got to check that. Or, you're going to crash out for, I guess, a lot more longer to come.
We'll see where we're at.
Yeah, now I guess we will just touch on it because it is the thumbnail.
I'm going a month sober this weekend.
Oh, hell yeah. Congratulations. That's some good shit.
When we get 3 months, then we'll be like, all right.
Some congrats. Right now, we're still working. You've been eating healthier, though, and lifting?
Yeah, I'm in boot camp right now.
Hell yeah. I love it.
Hey, all I ate today was a banana, and all I drank was water.
Okay, hell yeah. I will say, just a little tip. Here's simple diet advice.
Okay.
I've been locked in too on the diet lately, but just some simple shit. Basically, I would say like this for you. Protein, like free calories. You don't ever gotta count that shit. Eat as much of it as you want, right? Fruits too. Eat as much of that shit as you want. Like banana, all good. You could eat like 6 eggs after this podcast. You'd be chilling. I promise. Just watch just limit some of the fat consumption. Like Spam and stuff like that.
I don't need that, but okay.
I'm just saying though, that stuff is like where it'll kind of get you off your diet. And then don't eat too much carbs, meaning like chips and all that shit. That's really what'll get you. If you eat rice and potatoes, you're generally fine, bro. But just don't eat carbs in the form of chips, candy. You feel me? But yeah,
empty calories.
Yeah. Banana solid. All I had today was like, what did I eat today? I just had some steak and rice. I just bought like some sliced steak from the store, fried it up with some rice, and then for breakfast I had like four eggs. Yeah,
I'm going on. This is the 3rd month I've done 3 24-hour fasts in 3 months ago.
Hell yeah.
Last week I did last Tuesday. Last Tuesday was the first time that at the end of it, right before I went to sleep, I was able to sleep. The last time I did it, I wasn't able to sleep.
You're restless?
Oh, bro. I was like, but this time I was like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. And then what happened the next day when I did it is I like gorged, bro. I was like, all right, I wanted to eat everything, dude.
Yeah.
This time I woke up, I was like, I ate a very light breakfast because it gave me more self-control and more inner strength when I did it this time. I was like, okay, I can stand on this. Like, I'm not dying.
Yeah.
Like, and people ask me, like, why do I do it? The number one reason was to help clean my digestive system. That's the number one.
You felt it was backed up?
I felt like that we as a society, we consume, we consume, we consume. We have a big breakfast, we have a big lunch, we have a big dinner. We never give our bodies a chance to just rest a little bit and not work so hard. Then when you add on top of it the things that we consume are 90% shit.
Right.
And so and I've told you this, I'm on this new kick, since the healthy mind, healthy body, healthy soul. So if I'm gonna feed X in the morning, I'm gonna feed X in the morning. Banana, avocado toast, something very light to start my day. I don't need to go fucking super crazy heavy. At lunch, been doing really good. So like it feels clean. And I know as I keep growing older that I'm gonna have less problems.
You're probably even hungry by your next meal, you feel me?
Right.
Like that thing you're talking about, the over consuming. I've been in that stage at times in my life and I don't like it for one particular reason of how I feel, which is like when I'm over consuming, by the time I eat like my next meal, the last meal I had isn't even fully digested, you know? And then you go to eat dinner and you're still trying to digest your last two meals, and not because that's always what happens, but because you're eating chips and unhealthy and shit like that.
And
you eat
think
healthy,
about this.
You're hungry by noon.
Think about this. Have you ever ate just to eat?
Yeah, I love to eat just to eat.
So, and that's what I'm going back to, the consumption part of it, right? And that's what I've tested myself currently. I'm probably like on a month and a half of testing it, where I'm really challenging myself. Not only my TV, the other day I wrote it down. On Saturday, I was like, if I'm watching 6 hours, they said the average person watches 4 to 6 hours of TV a day. Like, all right. And that's me too. I have to admit, that's me too. So I stopped watching TV in the morning and I stopped putting social media on in the morning. Then I went to the food. Then I went to the alcohol and the drugs. And then I went to like the sexual desires. There's 4 things that I've noticed that I consume, that I have consumed to the highest level forever.
Yeah.
Forever. You know what I mean? And so that's why I'm on this, like, okay, we're going to really look at it. We're going to really check it. And we're going to start putting some more self-control and some more discipline. And so then I can get back to a point in 3 to 6 months and say, okay, I was in boot camp. I can take a little pressure off the wheels, but I have a solid foundation of what I want to do moving forward. Because if I get to the core of it, it's the consumption of all of the above. And that's us as a society.
Yeah. I'll say one other thing. I see this a lot, that's why, so I'll just put it out there. A lot of times when you're making big changes, I see from a lot of people, and when they go back after, it like disappoints me, because I see all the good changes they made, right, over like such a good point of time, and then I see the results, and then it's like they achieve the result they want, and then it's like, finally I can go back to living my shit lifestyle. Yeah. It's like, bro, that's not the fucking point, bro. That shit lifestyle is in the past. Like, that's no good. Like, you should be locked in on, like, I love how this is how I am. I love how I feel when I'm on a more healthier tip than when I'm not. I was even going to ask you, like, just in general thing, like when you are fasting or whatnot in these periods, do you feel like maybe some of your, I don't know if your body's sore in general, but do you ever feel like some of the soreness go away from your I don't know, aches and pains or anything?
Not per se, but I will say this, that there's a new book that I started reading. It's called The Power of Now. And I think I
read that too, actually. That's a good book. I got that.
That's a deep book.
Well, it's a weird book because it's just a lot of the same thing of them teaching you, like, they give you a bunch of examples of, like, not to procrastinate, but the book's all about that. Just don't procrastinate.
Well, it's interesting because, like, it was, to me, I felt very high level when I first read it. I was like, ooh, I don't know what, I'm trying to really understand what you're trying to say here. I'm going to try to sit with this and see if I understand. I'm only on chapter 2, and I've been on chapter 1 and chapter 2 probably for the past 2 or 3 weeks because I really was trying to digest it. And when it said the chapter 2 was the pain body. So when you have an emotion in you, it does create like a stressor on your body. And so that stressor will come to your mind and it will create a thought, right? I didn't get it until just like with my mom passing away, I really have had I understand what grief means. I understand what sadness means. I understand what depression means. I usually never really have been that sad or depressed like that. But the grief I felt to my core, to my body. Ooh. And when I was able to relate the pain body, it says when we go through times of stress, pain, depression, anxiety, whatever you want to put in that thing, it builds up into your cells. So when you have pain, a lot of times it's accumulated pain, not from just being an athlete and getting injured. Those are going to be body pains as well. And I really had to sit with that, and I really had to digest it. And so when you think about sometimes the pains we have in our body, it is accumulated stress, and it comes out one way or another.
Right. So catch this one. Crazy how I'll listen to something and you're like listening to something, but they tie in, but it's so like I don't even know how this ties in. It's almost blowing my mind right now. But based off what you just said, I hear you, because I was actually just watching the guy who's been training Kamzat. He's like this scientist, this like health scientist. Okay. So I was just peeping his Instagram, like looking him up. Like I'm like, everybody loves this guy. I clicked on a video on his Instagram, and he was saying, he's like, you know what? He's telling Kamzat, or the guys he's training, he's like, you know why I make you guys juice a lemon peel in the morning? And then they're like, why? And he's like, because it lowers cortisol. And then so he didn't explain what cortisol was. So this is how I know shit. So I looked it up. I'm like, what's cortisol? And apparently it's like a stress hormone, or it's like a hormone you produce when you're when stress is in your body. So then I was like, oh, so if you drink a lemon peel, it lowers the cortisol hormone. So generally speaking, it'll relax you. So with what you just said, yeah, the stuff in your body, as far as like when you feel your aches and pains or something like that, and you're saying it comes from stress or whatnot, that would be cortisol, apparently.
Right.
That's what I just learned. So because cortisol is that stress hormone, and it creates tension in your body. So that's where you are feeling it. So you can also drink lemon juice, and it'll reduce it.
And so let's add this. The things we consume in our mind create stress and anxiety. So if we're consuming nothing but bullshit, that's going to be another added level of your body being unaligned. Mm-hmm. And then you add food that we're consuming, and I'm like I said, I'm at fault. I am at fault. Alcohol, drugs, bad food, all of the above. I mean, I'm pretty healthy. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm some fucking like 200-pound obese. You know,
I feel you.
I'm in shape. It's not that I'm not in shape.
You just haven't been necessarily paying the most attention to your health as far as like locked in.
I'm 100%. Like I do it, but
you were conscious, but now you're more.
I'm trying to realign, and I'm starting here, and I know that it comes here too. So, I'll leave it at that.
Okay. There wasn't one more thing you wanted to say about it?
I feel good. No, that's it. I feel good.
Okay.
Be at peace.
Yeah. I feel you. I feel good too. I've been locked in on the diet. So all the viewers watching right now, make sure you're locked in. I just want to get this one down because it's in the thumbnail. UFC Abu Dhabi, just the main and co-main, I guess, unless there's a banger fight you know about. It's apparently a really good card, so we're really not doing it justice. My apologies, our apologies. But Whittaker versus de Ridder, you got McGee versus Peter Yan. I think everyone's thinking Yan is gonna blow McGee out of the water. I'm here to tell you guys that should be a banger fight. That's gonna be my one of, if you don't know now you knows. On top of that, I think Whittaker de Ridder. I guess we can get into that. You want to give me your thoughts on Marcus first, though?
I'm going. RDR is probably one of the first guys that's impressed me that coming in from another organization. Mm-hmm. But I look at the guys that he's fought, almost as that Gabriel Bonfim kind of effect to it. They built you up. You beat Kevin Holland. You beat Bo Nickel. You beat was it Gerard?
Yeah, Gerald Mearshart.
Yeah. Okay. Robert Whittaker's a different beast.
Different beast. This is the real test.
Yeah. This is a real test, and I think
this is the one. If you win, it's like okay, you've done something.
You know exactly, but I think Robert Whittaker still has more in the tank, and I think he's gonna show him like, nah, you're not ready for this one yet. Shara's on there as well. I'm excited for that. It's funny because he's fighting a Marc-Andre Baralt. Mm-hmm. The Asu Almabav, that's number 3. That's a good one. Bryce Mitchell. Mm-hmm. Versus Nurmagomedov.
Great fight, yeah.
Ooh, Muslim. Okay. Hold on. Muslim Salikov in the welterweight division. To me, he's on that 1920, bro. Mm-hmm. The dude's a fucking beast.
He got knocked out by Randy Brown.
Okay. So we're this, but I think that there was another guy that lost that we kind of had that same conversation with. And And I was like, all right, but I mean that happens, you know.
It happens. Joshua Van it happened with too. Who's he fighting though? I don't know who he's fighting.
Neil.
Neil Magny?
No, no, no. Carlos Leal. I'm sorry, Leal.
Oh, so okay, Carlos Leal is actually the guy everybody's high on.
See, I'm more high on Muslim.
Okay. Well, yeah, Carlos Leal is a guy everyone's expecting him to win. I'm sure he's a big favorite if you got the odds in front of you.
Let's see. No, they don't show the odds on it. Actually.
That's a good fight then, because Muslim is no joke. Muslim's no joke, but he seems to be one of those guys like, you know, that guy that
It's funny because Leo lost to Renat, and that was a really close fight. Like Renat kind of, I don't know if he really won one, but he didn't get like demolished. I'm more high on Muslim than Leo.
I'm gonna give you a hot take then, and just kind of say, I feel like, okay, so Muslim, let me pull him up real quick. So Muslim, he's coming off 2 wins. He lost to Randy Brown and Dalby. Oof. He lost to Nicholas Dalby, who also got knocked out by Randy Brown. And this guy lost to Li Jingliang. He can beat mid-level fighters, but can he beat great fighters?
Right. Yeah, I'd see. Yeah, I agree with that. So you know what? Honestly, this fight's not going to tell us a lot.
It won't because, yeah, it won't.
They're not the Randy Browns of the world. They're not the the Kevin Hollands of the world, the D-Rods of the world. Like,
it's not.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I think it's going to be a good fight. So we kind of have downed on it a little bit, but you also came in positive about this fight, and I don't want to fully shit on the day. So it is a good fight.
Yeah, I like welterweights, you know.
It's a good fight. For sure it's a good fight. And how about this? Whoever wins this fight, like, it's not to the moon for you, but it's a good win.
Yeah, get you back in the 20.
It's 21. A good win. It's a stepping stone. We're going to get you somewhere off of this win. You're not fighting a complete nobody. Right, but each of you are fighting an opponent who doesn't have that much respect in the game. I guess that's why there's not too much magnitude.
And then the Marcus McGee, Peter Yan. I mean, Yan's a beast. I don't know, bro. I thought it was way too soon for Marcus McGee to step into that level of competition. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were just saying Sean O'Malley should have fought Peter Yan for the belt. You know, it was Yan's turn. I think it's too soon for Marcus McGee.
Okay, we'll see.
I think you needed another fight before that, like a Vinicius, like something. You know, do you think McGee beats Vinicius?
I don't know. I'll say this. McGee has a really good win over Jonathan Martinez. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying I don't know, because, you know, Vinicius is a tough opponent, but then I say Marcus beat a guy who's, like, to your point earlier, Marcus beat a guy who's already higher ranked than Vinicius, and he's got Vinicius's holes patched up. He's more technical. He's got the hands up. And he beat a guy like that, so maybe it could be Vinicius.
I think they should have gave him like a top 10 guy, because I think Marcus is 13.
Yeah. Well, this isn't really the UFC wanting it necessarily, and I got to the bottom of it, so I know the whole situation. This is more like a thank you to Peter Yan. Peter Yan wanted to fight on UFC Abu Dhabi so bad. No one else was available, so they called Marcus McGee. So Marcus is right place, right time. Sure, it is a big push.
I hope he takes advantage. I know he fights out of Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of family in Phoenix. So, I mean, it's a big test, though. It's a big test.
It's a big test. I ain't even putting that one, I'm not downplaying that. It's a big-ass test. I feel like, and
Peter Yan got the engine. Yeah. Peter Yan got the engine.
Yeah, and it's a bold prediction, and I feel like I'm not saying it just because Marcus is on the podcast. I'm saying because of his performances. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think Marcus is going to step to the occasion. Am I guaranteeing a win? No, I'm not. But I think what you're going to see is hopefully what I'd like to see too. Marcus rising to the occasion, and then after this fight, it's like he's certified. Let's put him against other top contenders. It would be great to see.
Yeah, it's going to boost him either way.
Yeah. Well, as long as there's no first round knockout.
But when was the last time Yada knocked anybody out?
Yeah, I don't think so.
You know, he's not known for that. He's known for fucking just boom, 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 just coming. Oh yeah.
And then Marcus is known for that quick knockout, but he's coming off a win where he went all 3 rounds. He proved he's got the pace. So it's a really good, he's coming in at the right time. Even if it's a big jump, I think he's been tested in the UFC to this extent.
I would say this, Mark. He has to start fast that first round because Jan's going to be nonstop that first round. Like he can't go into that third round down 0-2.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing I've noticed in a lot of fights. Actually, Max did it in 2 fights. Maybe it was his game plan against Dustin after he learned it against Holloway. But damaging your opponent early is key. It's key. Yeah. Whoever can start that fight, especially with certain types of fighters, I think Jan it's important for because Jan is a pace guy, a pressure guy. You got to knock him off his pace early because that pace breaks you. So the longer you have to fight under his pace, he's forcing you into his game. If you can rock him early, you're you know what I mean? His pace is going to be
question it a little bit. Yeah, you're making him question.
And that's what happened with Dustin. He got dropped early he got dropped in the first, right, against Max. Yeah. So then it just changed the pace of the whole fight.
I'll say this, like those fighters that I see that start slow and they're down that first round and they kind of maybe don't win the second, and now you're going into the third, like you got to knock them out. Mm-hmm. Like that's what cannot happen to Marcus McGee. And Jan can kick. Jan can throw punches, so we need to see a whole all the arsenals from Marcus McGee. Yeah. Like every single one of them need to be brought into this fight. Yeah. Not just one aspect, not just 2 aspects, like 5.
Mm-hmm. And this is just another X factor for that matchup. Marcus's last opponent is known for his leg kicks. Like if you were to give him a grade, it's like an A+, a 99 in Madden. So okay. Marcus is coming off fighting a guy with 99 leg kicks. So I think he's good on the leg kick battle here, but again, it's Peter's pace, and once Peter's pace breaks his opponent, it doesn't matter about all the training anymore. He can spam leg kicks on you, combos on you. So that's the thing Marcus is fighting. Can Peter's pace break him?
Yeah.
It's main event. Fight.
Like I said, I'm going Robert.
Okay. Robert. I'm going Robert.
Yeah. I think that,
you know, when I kind of said that quickly, I kind of low key I feel like RDR might have a little bit here. We'll see.
I was
first prediction, to be honest.
I was leaning towards RDR, and then when I saw the past 3 opponents, I was like, that doesn't impress me though. That was my thing. Okay. Those last 3 fights. All
right. Well, let's see. Let's see how this one goes. I think here's what I'll say. I guess if RDR can work his grappling game, I think it might be over for Robert. I'll say that. If it's on the feet, I think it's probably easier for
Who was the
Robert.
last grappler? Like,
Bo Nickel.
No, who's Robert's last?
Kamzat broke his teeth.
Right, that's like
yeah. So let's see, because RDR I think on the grappling scale is right there with like a Kamzat, but he's not as strong of a wrestler. Right. But if you're talking about jiu-jitsu submission attacks,
yeah, RDR's right there.
Like if Kamzat could get that rear naked choke in Whittaker, I don't see a way RDR can't. But then on the feet, right? RDR is super awkward, and I don't see RDR outboxing Robert. In fact, I see RDR being like a zombie, like a Walking Dead zombie against Robert on the feet.
Yeah, I mean it's a tail fight, right? If we see a stand up fight, it's gonna go Robert's way. If we see a ground game, most likely we'll go RDR.
Mm-hmm. Unless Robert can just kind of keep pulling out of the, you know what I mean?
And I'd like to see where his takedown defense is at.
Yeah. So there's a lot there.
I'm going Robert.
But this will prove the most, right? You get whoever can get. Let's say Robert defends his takedowns. Let's say RDR takes down Robert. These are big things that answer questions.
But I would say, yeah, that's true. And I would say this too. If Robert wins, it will almost be like, okay, now what do we do with him?
Who?
If Robert wins, it's going to be like, all right.
Robert wins. Yeah, it is one of those tough ones.
It doesn't move him up.
Yeah, you got to put him maybe against
RDR wins. If RDR wins, I'm on the
title shot.
Maybe one.
Close.
Give him Sean Strickland.
All right, shout out Soda Pop. He's in the chat. Got to read it out. He says McGee's gonna beat Jan this weekend. Can't wait. Ooh. We bet in Reinier de Ridder, Marcus McGee, Jose Ochoa, Damon Blackshear. That's the bet, boys.
We got a parlay, huh? We got a 4-5 parlay.
Run that a parlay. Run it singles. Whatever you want, boys.
I won 100 on Prize Picks over the weekend.
What'd you bet?
Basically, Prize Picks is weird. You have to bet like either more significant strikes or like how many rounds someone's gonna last. So like you could do like 3. I think I picked Kevin Holland beat 21 significant strikes in round 1. I think it was the Max Holloway fight too of how many significant strikes, and then What's his name? Patricia Pitbull would have less significant strides, and he had less because he doesn't really throw.
Solid bet. Yeah, Patricio didn't throw. That's actually fire betting right there because Patricio literally held his hands so fucking long in that fight, and then every time he exploded, he hurt Dan, and then Max and Kevin, solid right there. All they do is spam punches.
Yeah, I spent 60 to win 120.
Hell yeah, 60 to win 120, so it was like a parlay.
Yeah.
I was happy I didn't bet after that card ended. I looked at all my predictions. I had fucking Holland. I had
You had all the favors.
pretty much. Who else was on there?
You had Dan Ige,
I did have Dan Ige.
Paulo Costa.
I had fucking Kopilov. I was doubting Paulo.
See?
Yeah, I would have bet against Paulo for sure.
Everybody had the favors too.
The only one I would have won on is Max. And I literally, like I told you earlier in the week, I thought fucking Dustin had it on paper. So I was just, my own stubbornness got me the win there.
I
But
picked Dustin.
if I didn't like Max as much, I might have bet on Dustin.
Yes, yeah, I bet Dustin. So no, you were right.
Yeah. All right, boys. Shout out for watching. Shout out Jew. Shout out Animated Stories. Watterson. Soda Pop.
Hey, we building the squad.
Andrew. The whole
Building the
squad is
squad.
here, yeah.
We're building the squad. Hey, shout out to all the homies. Like I said, I want to know what city they went. I want to rep their city next time we come on.
Soda Pop's in New York, I believe.
Okay, we in East Coast.
Yeah.
What's up, playboy? What's up, son?
Yep. Soda Pop's in New York. So shout out the East Coast.